Most beginner Pokemon sealed collectors are making the 5 same critical mistakes. They chase booster packs, blisters, box sets, and tins, hoping they'll skyrocket in value, all while ignoring the exact principles that matter most, and it's costing them big. In this video, I'm gonna be breaking down the mistakes that I made early on so that you can skip the pain, sidestep the hype, and make smarter moves with your sealed collection. And stick around because at the end, I'm gonna reveal the one strategy that gives you the best chance at long-term growth in your Pokemon portfolio. And the first mistake, investing money you can't afford to lose. Seeing the wild price spikes in the Pokemon market, especially when things are hot, is enough to tempt anyone chasing a quick profit. And we've all heard the stories, scalpers clearing out the shelves at Target, Costco, emptying the trading card aisles at Walmart, and way too often, I see comments like, I should be using this money to fix my car, but I'm buying booster boxes with it instead. Listen, there's nothing wrong with being excited about the hobby, but with investing, just like with anything else in life, you have to learn to walk before you run. And I've learned the hard way that taking shortcuts and ignoring your financial reality only opens the door to unnecessary risk and hard times. And the truth, if you can get a sealed booster box for under $300, depending on the set, sometimes $500, and you're holding long term, you'll likely do just fine. You don't need to rush. Remember, with Pokemon, you've got a solid nearly 2-year window from the time a set first releases to gradually build up your position before it's out of print. So before you add more sealed products to your shelf, make sure your needs are covered. Build up an emergency fund, pay off high interest debts, and get in the habit of investing in your future and not just your sealed collection. Because your car won't run on booster boxes, and if you're forced to sell your collection early just to get cash, you're almost always going to be losing money. Next, on to mistake number 2, which is buying the wrong product for your goals. When I first started collecting sealed Pokemon products, I bought whatever I could get my hands on. Booster packs, elite trainer boxes, booster bundles, tins, you name it. I thought I was building up a diversified collection. But if your goal is to create a sealed portfolio that actually gains value over time, here's the hard truth. Not all products are created equal. Some products will hold value, others will appreciate slowly, and some products will sit in the back of your closet and do nothing, or worse, they'll actually lose value over time. Now, if you're buying to rip packs for fun, that's totally different. Booster packs and box sets are great for that. But if your goal is to build value long-term, product selection matters a lot. If you're like me, you work hard for your money. You don't want to waste it blindly spreading it across every product type that looks cool on the shelf. That's exactly what I did for years, and it cost me thousands of dollars. I used to think, well, I can't really afford to go big right now, so I'll just pick up what I can. Wrong. No. Big mistake. Don't make that mistake. Mistake number 3 is chasing the hype around new Pokemon releases. Have you ever noticed that every time a new set drops, YouTubers and influencers flood your feed with hype, pack openings, chase cards, pull rates, and market speculation? It's exciting, it's everywhere, and it's exactly what causes most new collectors to overpay. Just like with a new stock IPO or a new crypto token hitting the exchange, the early hype almost always fades. Prices spike before release, they dip shortly after, and many sealed products lose value fast. And the good news, the smart money plays tend to rise quietly over time once the market noise dies down. If you're looking for stable, dollar for dollar returns and want to avoid the launch day roller coaster, focus on sealed products nearing the 2-year mark from their release. Around that time, reprints from the Pokemon Company become less and less likely, supply starts drying up, and scarcity starts doing its thing. And that's when prices begin creeping up. Keep an eye on TCG Player charts and listings during this window. Look for a healthy dip or pullback in market prices, and that's your signal to buy. And if you're more of a guts-based collector like me, that's totally fine. You don't need to worry about reading charts. Just watch for when products stop getting restocked, usually before that 2-year mark, and get in before the crowd catches on. Mistake number 4 is going all in on one set. As you spend more time in the Pokemon TCG world learning about sealed collecting and how the market works, you're gonna hear a lot of noise. Hot takes, bold predictions, and overhyped favorites. But here's something I learned after 6 years in the hobby. Some of the most profitable sets in Pokemon history were actually hated at first. Take Evolving Skies, for example. When it first launched in 2021, people nicknamed it Evolving Cries because the pull rates were so disappointing. Back then, you could grab a booster box of Evolving Skies from the Pokemon Center for $143.64. Now, at the time of this recording, that same box is selling for around $1,800. It just goes to show early opinions don't always accurately predict the long-term value. Another great example is Fusion Strike from the Sword and Shield era. Nobody wanted it when it dropped, and now that it's not getting reprinted anymore, supply is drying up and it's climbing in value fast. These sets are considered best in class now, but back then, nobody wanted them, or worse, they trashed them. And that's why going all in on one set is risky. You might think you found a winner, but the market is unpredictable. Even great sets can underperform and underrated sets can explode. Personally, I spread my budget across multiple sets. I try to grab at least something from each set because diversification protects you. You'll win some, you'll lose on others, but at least you won't get wiped out by one bad play. Remember, there are no guarantees in the game of collectibles, so don't put all of your eggs in one basket. Mistake number 5 is selling in the quiet times instead of buying. One of the biggest mistakes I see collectors and investors make is selling their sealed collection too early. Maybe prices dip a little, life gets busy and your priorities change, or maybe you lose confidence altogether. I've been there. It's tempting to want to cash out early, especially if you feel like nothing's happening. But if you sell before your gains have time to develop, you're going to be cutting yourself off from all of the upside. Sealed Pokemon products or collectibles in general aren't really something anyone should be stressing over on a day-to-day or month-to-month basis. This is a long game. Think in timelines of 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, or even 20 years. Some of the most valuable sealed products today didn't explode right away. They sat quietly for years, then scarcity crept in, demand caught up, and that's when the real gains are made. And here's something that most people overlook. Pokemon hype is cyclical. There are always waves. Sets like Surging Sparks come out and the market explodes with excitement. But before long, interest fades and things go quiet. People stop caring until the cycle turns again. In the quiet times, that's when the smart money moves in. That's when patient collectors quietly build up their positions while everyone else has moved on. And that's why it's so important to plan for the medium to long term. Don't treat this like a get-rich-quick scheme. For best results, treat this like a slow growth portfolio. And above all, don't invest money you can't afford to lose or tie up for a while. That goes for Pokemon and any investment. Patience is not an option here. It's the whole strategy. Now that we've talked about what not to do, chasing the hype, buying the wrong product, going all in on one set, or being impatient, let's talk about the one strategy that has consistently outperformed all the rest for me when it comes to long-term growth in my sealed collection. And that strategy is buying sealed booster boxes. These are the gold standard in Pokemon sealed investing for a reason. They're stable, scalable, and highly sought after by collectors and investors alike. If you're building a serious sealed Pokemon collection, this is where you're going to want to focus your attention. And here's why. A booster box can always be broken down into individual booster packs, but once you open it, the sealed value is gone forever. You can't put the genie back in the bottle. There's also a security factor. A sealed booster box is a complete untouched unit and the market values that integrity. That's why sealed booster boxes always command a premium over just 36 loose booster packs. While resealing does happen in the hobby, booster boxes are far more difficult to tamper with than individual packs. You can't weigh them, you can't use a pipe finder to map hits, and you're far less likely to end up with a product that's been manipulated or stepped on. When you're holding a sealed booster box, you're holding your best shot at clean, authentic trading cards. Looking back, my only and biggest regret with booster boxes is simple. I didn't buy more. I've met collectors who pick up booster boxes every time they get paid, and others who stash away cases like it's a retirement plan. And some of those people are now sitting on life-changing amounts of sealed product. But let me be clear, don't overextend yourself. If you're in a position to build slowly and responsibly, it might seem boring, but that is the best path. The most effective approach to making money with collectibles is consistent, strategic, and sustainable. In my opinion, Pokemon isn't going anywhere, and neither is your opportunity to invest wisely in sealed products. And if you want to check out another video that'll change the way that you think about collectibles, check out this video right here.